Bank didn't fail you by accident. It was designed from the beginning to keep your money safe, not to make it grow. And the most dangerous part, they taught you to call that responsible. They taught your parents to call it wise. They put it in school curriculums, church financial seminars, and government adverts. Save your money, put it in the bank, watch it grow. But here is what they never showed you: the actual numbers behind that advice. And once you see those numbers, you will never look at your savings account the same way again. Let me take you back to 1959. Nigeria is about to gain independence. The British are preparing to leave. And before they go, they help set up the financial infrastructure that will run this country, including the banking system. Now, here is what most people do not understand about how banks actually make money. When you deposit 100,000 naira into your savings account, the bank does not lock that money away with your name on it. Instead, they take about 80,000 naira to 90,000 naira of it and lend it out to businesses, to governments, to borrowers at interest rates of 20% to 30% per year. They collect that interest every single month. Then they turn around and pay you, the person whose money they used, about 1% to 4% per year. Let that sit for a moment. Your 100,000 naira earns them 25,000 naira in a year, and they give you about 3,000 naira and call it a reward. You just funded their profits and received a tip. Now let's be clear, this is not a conspiracy. It's just how the system works, and the system was never designed with the depositor in mind. Banks operate on what is called fractional reserve system. They keep only a small portion of deposits and use the rest to generate profits. In Nigeria, the central bank sets a cash reserve ratio, meaning banks are only required to hold a fraction of customer deposits. Everything above that, they lend it out. So when banks advertise savings accounts with bright smiles, jingles, and promises of growth, what they are really offering is access to the cheapest money they can ever get: yours. Your savings account is not designed to grow your wealth. It is designed to fund theirs. And here is what the system never really tells you. The same banks that give you 3% on savings also offer treasury bills, bonds, and fixed deposits that pay significantly higher returns. But those are not the products they push to the average person. Because the moment you move your money there, you stop being cheap capital and you start getting closer to what they earn. Now let's add the second layer, because the bank is only part of the story. The real silent force is inflation. And in Nigeria, inflation is not slow, it is constant. Here is what that looks like in real life. You have 200,000 naira in your savings account on January 1st. The bank pays you 3.5% interest. You feel safe, you feel responsible. By December 31st, your account shows 207,000 naira and made 7,000 naira. But during that same year, the price of rice has gone up sharply. Transport costs have increased. Rent is higher. And suddenly, that 207,000 naira cannot buy what 200,000 naira could buy at the beginning of the year. So even though your account balance increased, your actual purchasing power dropped. And the bank statement will never show you that. It will only show you a bigger number, not a weaker position. Now let's be direct. There are three groups that benefit every time money sits in a low interest savings account in Nigeria. The first is the bank, because they earn high returns using your deposits. The second is the government, because inflation reduces the real value of what they owe over time. The third is the market itself, because as prices rise, sellers benefit while savers lose purchasing power. This is not personal, it is structural. But structure always has consequences. Here is something important. When Nigerians receive money, they enter what you call a decision window, a short period where money is available but no system is guiding what to do with it. In that window, emotions, pressure, and urgency take over, and most people default to the easiest option, which is usually not the best one. That is how money disappears without people even realizing what happened. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Emeka and Tunde are both 30 years old. They live in Abuja. They earn the same 150,000 naira monthly, and they both save 40,000 naira every month without failing. Same income, same discipline. Only difference is what they do with their savings. Emeka keeps his money in a regular savings account. After 3 years, he has about 1.5 million naira. Tunde puts his money into money market funds and treasury bills after learning about them. After 3 years, he has about 1.8 million naira. Same efforts, same income, different outcome. And when you factor in inflation, Emeka's money has lost more purchasing power than Tunde's. The difference was not discipline. The difference was structure. Now here is what most people do not think of. In Nigeria, people trust what they can see. Land, cash, physical things. So banks built a system that feels physical. Branches, tellers, passbooks to make saving feel safe. But the better tools for growing money are not always visible in that same way. Treasury bills, money market funds, dollar-linked investments, they exist, they are legal, they are accessible, but they are not the ones most people are taught first. So here is what you should take from all of this. First, do not keep all your money in one place. Second, always consider inflation before you think you are making profit. Third, separate emergency money from money you want to grow. And fourth, avoid anything promising unrealistic returns. Because real wealth is not built on excitement, it is built on structure. The bank was not built to make you rich. But now you understand how it works. And that alone puts you ahead of most people. Because once you see the system clearly, you stop playing the game blindly and you start making decisions with intention. If this breakdown made sense to you, like the video and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And in the comments, tell me this. If you had 100,000 naira today, what would you actually do with it?